Good evening this day, 11th of March 2020. Good evening, and welcome to my live broadcast as the awareness for Nigeria disintegration and awareness for Biafra freedom continues. This evening, I have come again in continuation. Obin, welcome. Thank you for joining me in continuation of the awareness we are creating to make sure that everybody in Biafra land, that everybody in Nigeria and around the world, thank you for joining me. Sherifan, thank you for joining me. Everybody around the world is aware and well informed about why Nigeria must disintegrate. Edmond Don, William Aja, thank you. My own William Chudi Okane, thank you for joining me. Okane Victor Mweje, thank you for joining me. Onyema Ofia, thank you for joining me. Nsofo, quality, thank you for joining me. And one of my sister, I have to remember you today, DK Dorisan, anywhere you are, my greetings goes to you this evening, and whether you are going to join this live show, but my greeting goes to you, DK Dorisan. Also, Oliver, thank you for watching me. Dan Tonero, thank you for joining me. Chinedu Chime, Innocent Eze. The awareness is something that a lot of people don't understand the importance of this awareness that we are creating and bringing out of our time. Gabriel Duke, thank you for joining me. Edu Banko, thank you for joining me. Obiageli Uzoegbo, thank you for joining me from Italy. Peter Nwodo, thank you for joining me. Foluke Martins, thank you for joining me. Chooks Elvis, thank you for joining me. Abel Simon, thank you for joining me. We are going to recognize you with another 2 minutes of our time. Ike South, thank you for joining me. Bonnie Darlington, Ene, EC Cave, thank you for joining me. His Royal Highness, thank you for joining me. Fine Boy, thank you for joining me. So what we are saying is that this awareness, a lot of people don't understand the impact of this. Patrick Eze, thank you for joining me. Chigoze, thank you for joining me. This is the war we did not fight in 1960. This is the war we did not fight in 1960. And now we are fighting that war. And we are going to fight this war until every corner of the world come to see and know what is going on in Nigeria. We are going to fight this media war until the entire international community knows exactly what is going on in Nigeria. We are going to fight this media war so that by the time we pick up arms for self-defense, which will be coming very soon, nobody will blame us. The world, we have called on the world powers. We have been calling on international community, and of course, they are responding. They are responding, and international community everywhere in the world is taking interest in what is going on in Nigeria, the ethnic cleansing and the killings of Christians in Nigeria, the annihilation of Christians in Nigeria, the killings of innocent indigenous people in Nigeria by Fulani terrorists, by Fulani herdsmen, by Boko Haram, and sponsored by the government of the day in Nigeria. And this awareness is something that we did not do in 1960. We did not do this in 1960, which led to people who were not informed about the future of Biafra and about their future. Today, nobody that fought against Biafra that is not regretting it. Today, nobody, no ethnic group that joined Nigerian army and fought against Biafra in 1967 to 1970 that is not regretting it today. Is it the Middle Belt that is not regretting where Gowon come from? Is it some part of Ijaw people that are not regretting fighting against Biafra today? Is it some part of Yoruba that are not regretting fighting against Biafra today? Tell me. The only people that will never regret fighting Biafra and that will never regret fighting Biafra is the people that is ruling Nigeria today, the presidency. Buhari, when he was alive, and the one who is parading himself now, are the only people that will beat their chests and will be ready to fight against Biafra the second time. Buhari said, if the opportunity to fight Biafra again and kill Biafrans again come, he is going to do it. And these are the only people who will fight against Biafra again, if the opportunity calls. But this evening, I want to go straight to the point because I will have a very, very short time for this broadcast. I want to go very, very straight to the point this evening. And I am going to start from the letter coming from Obasanjo. The open letter Obasanjo wrote to Buhari or to people in Aso Rock. I'm not going to read all this, the content of the letter, but I am going to select some crucial points that Obasanjo made, which I would like to address this evening. Obasanjo, apart from the fact that God may have forgiven him for bringing Nigeria to this level that Nigeria is today, for participating in bringing this calamity on Nigeria. In 2015, we, Biafrans, we warned Yoruba people, we warned Nigerians against this man called Buhari. We warned them that what if an elderly man see sitting down, a child will climb on top of a tree and he will not see it. But because this warning were coming from we Biafrans, the other part of Nigeria turned deaf ear. We did not only condemn and kick against this Fulani Caliphate because we already know we are 10,000 miles ahead. We also demonstrated our stand during the voting in Biafra land. We demonstrated and made our voice heard in polling booths. Today, every tongue that spoke against us in 2015 are now writing letter. Obasanjo is one of them. They have turned back now to begin to shout more than us. The only difference is that they are shouting for something different which can never happen. We are shouting for something that is obtainable, which is the disintegration of Nigeria and freedom of Biafra Republic. Today, Obasanjo is shouting more than us. But I want to address some issues he raised, because it is time we begin to present these lies and fallacies that have used trying to hold Nigeria together for decades. It is time we begin to trash them and tell them, look them right into their eyes and tell them, you elders have lied since the independence of Nigeria. You have held Nigeria with lies, propaganda, and lies and fallacy and fraud. That is what you have used to hold Nigeria. So, Obasanjo, if you watch this video, the things you pointed out in your letter is what I'm about to address now. Let me start from the middle of the letter. I don't want to read all the things you wrote. Obasanjo wrote this. The issue, such, however, how do you deal with the issues such as only about 50% literacy in Northeast with over 70% unemployment? Herdsmen, farmer crisis and menarche started with the government treating the issue with cuddling glove instead of hammer. Obasanjo, first of all, this should be made very clear. There is nothing like herdsmen farmer crisis in Nigeria. There is nothing like herdsmen farmer crisis. Obasanjo, as old as you are and a statesman, the man that we, including myself, Simon Ekpa, respect, I don't think that if you really are turning back from the atrocity you committed in 2015 by bringing Buhari into government, if you have repented, which I believe that you have repented, at least we all have seen that you have retracted and you are changing your step, or you have already changed your step. So I believe that you have repented. And if you have repented, Obasanjo, Your Excellency, you must address issues the way they are. There is nothing like farmer herdsmen crisis in Nigeria. What you have is a pure terrorism and ethnic cleansing. There is nothing like crisis. It is time in your next letter, because I am taking you now as somebody who have repented. If you are going to write any open letter, you have to address herdsmen, farmers killing as the way it is. It is called systematic killings of indigenous people. Those that were killed in Benue State, most of them are part of Biafra. And if you are addressing this herdsmen terrorist killing in Nigeria, you must address it with open and clean mind. And no string must be attached. It is nothing like crisis, herdsmen crisis. It is called systematic ethnic cleansing of indigenous people in Nigeria. In other words, it is also religious killing. And in another words also, it is the systematic annihilation of indigenous people in Nigeria. Those that are being killed in Biafra land, it is systematic ethnic cleansing in Biafra land. That is what it is. You can't say you are having crisis between farmer and herdsmen. There is no crisis. Farmers do not have AK-47. But the time is coming that every farmer will be having even more than something better than AK-47. The time is coming because the government of Nigeria has failed. Apart from the government, there is not even government in Nigeria. When you see a government-sponsored killings, you don't say it is crisis. It is government-sponsored ethnic cleansing. This has become more than what happened in Rwanda. The killings going on in Nigeria today is more than what happened in Rwanda. If we are keeping the records, and if mainstream media begin to report the exact killing that is happening in Nigeria today, it is already more than Rwanda. It is already more than Rwanda. So Obasanjo, there is nothing like herdsmen farmers crisis. That is one correction from your letter. Let me continue. Now, it has festered and spread. Today, it has developed into banditry, kidnapping, armed robbery, and killing all over the country. Another second thing I want to correct from Obasanjo's letter is he mentioned banditry. This banditry, if he is calling the people killing or the people that are stealing under using a gun or like armed robbery in certain part of Nigeria, if he calls them banditry, I would accept this submission that in certain part of Nigeria you have banditry. People who go and take gun and point at you and say, bring your money or I will shoot you. And even if you don't have money, at the end of the day, they will not shoot you. They will go. And then they can collect whatever they can and go. That is the kind of people you call banditry. You don't call banditry. So you don't begin to call people banditry when they come in the night in your villages, in your clan, in your community with machine guns, and they have no other agenda. The only agenda they have is to come when you are sleeping, is to come when you are having your market in your open marketplace, is to come when the community is having some a festival, and all they will do is to kill you all, burn your buildings, burn your houses, burn the domestic animals you have, burn all the crops you have, and start chopping off your heads. You don't call those kind of people banditry. This is English language. You call them terrorists. So Obasanjo, I don't know which people we are calling banditry. But if it is the people that the federal government of Nigeria controlled by terrorists are tagging banditry or bandits in some part of the northern Nigeria where they are killing and trying to wipe out the Hausa people from the entire north, if that is the people you mean in this your letter, Obasanjo, in your next letter, correct it. It is not bandit. They are Fulani terrorists carrying out they continue the agenda of Usman Danfodio, and they are now focusing on wiping everybody that is not Fulani out from the north. That is not banditry. It is called terrorism. Call them what they are. Fulani herdsmen, they are terrorists. They are not banditry. They are not bandits. There is no crisis between them and farmer. It is pure ethnic cleansing. And it will also interest you that most of the robbery today, in fact, we have done research. Most of the robbery today in Biafra land, in the southern part of Nigeria, are committed by Fulanis. the Igbo people, the Igbo-speaking Biafra people that are involved in armed robbery, the percentage has reduced to, if you can get up, you cannot get up to 2% of robbery in Biafra land today. And they are pure Igbos, or they are pure Igbo-speaking Biafrans. You cannot arrest people that are armed robbery from Lagos down to the eastern part of Nigeria. You see armed robbery and there are Biafrans, or there are Yorubas, or there are other part of Biafra or Middle Belt. What you see, if you see anywhere they arrest armed robbers today, from Lagos Road down to Benin, Edo State, down to Biafra land, eastern part of Nigeria, 99% of them are Fulanis. If you doubt me, if you doubt what I'm saying now, go and start keeping record of all the people they have arrested, at least claim to have arrested or claim to have apprehended, or those who were victims of armed robbery in expressway from Lagos to Benin to Onitsha. To go and make your finding. 99% of the people blocking the road are Fulanis. And they have come to deceive you that Igbos are armed robbers. Yes, you have armed robbers of Igbo-speaking Biafrans. There is no doubt. But I am telling you, in 2020, from the research and findings, 99% of armed robbery from Lagos, even in all Yoruba land, are committed by Fulanis. 80% of kidnapping today in southern part of Nigeria are committed by Fulanis. If you doubt me, start bringing the record of everybody that has been kidnapped and released, and ask the person, who kidnapped you? What language were they speaking? This is an open challenge to every Nigerian. So, the era of Igbo people are criminals has ended. It is time we change it and we tell it how it is. The time of some Igbos, some few Igbos, jobless Igbos, or Igbo-speaking Biafra, or other part of Biafra are going to rob you and take your money. That era is gone. The Igbo people are too busy. And like I said, there is no society, there is no country you don't see criminals. But in Igbo land, in Biafra land, it has reduced. And anyone you see today that is kidnapped, the hand of a military man is there. And let me tell you, if you do not see Fulani in the kidnap, in the armed robbery, participating in kidnapping and armed robbery, you will see the Fulanis in military uniform. You will see Nigerian military being part of the kidnap, and the Fulanis and the Hausa Fulanis. If you do not see them in the military, you will see them in police. And these people you see kidnapping in Biafra land today, one Hausa man or one Fulani man from the police or from the military will be involved, supplying them, shielding them, and the crime will be booming. So, Fulani has taken over of all the crimes, from kidnapping to armed robbery. This, what I'm telling you, is something that you are living in Nigeria. You are seeing people that are being kidnapped and released after paying ransom. It is easy to gather this data. We have done our own research, and I'm telling you now, percentage of the kidnappings and armed robbery in Nigeria today are committed by Fulanis from the all the kidnapping in southern part of Nigeria, in Yoruba land and in Biafra land. and somebody will come to tell you that there is a benefit in diversity. I continue. Remember, I am addressing Obasanjo's letter. Obasanjo's letter. Latest Obasanjo's letter to Buhari. Open letter to Buhari. He continued. The unfortunate situation is that the criminality is being perceived as Fulani menace, unleashed by Fulani elites in different parts of the country for a number of reasons, but even more, unfortunately, many Nigerians and non-Nigerians who are friends of Nigeria attach vicarious responsibility to you as a Fulani elite. He is now referring to Buhari as a Fulani elite. And the current captain of the ship of Nigeria, he is telling Buhari he is the captain of the ship of Nigeria. Obasanjo continued, perception may be as potent as reality at times. Whatever may be the grievances of Fulanis, Obasanjo telling that whatever may be the grievances of Fulanis. Who told Obasanjo that Fulanis has grievances? What could be the grievances of Fulani? Fulani have no grievances in Nigeria. They have come into Nigeria through fraud. They came into Nigeria illegally. They came and first of all, they will stay in the north for 10 years. And after that, they start claiming they are Nigerians. So, what exactly do Obasanjo mean by writing whatever may be the grievances of Fulani? There is no grievances. The only thing the Fulani want is to take over Nigeria. And you are there, you have served as a military man, you have fought Biafra war, you have become a general, both the military general and the civilian and the democratic elected president, and all you can do is to say what could be the grievances. There is nothing like grievance. This is a very wrong perception about Fulanis, because you should know them better as the former president of Nigeria that knows the in and out of Nigeria. And I am believing that you have repented. And if you have repented, you should start writing it the way it is. You don't write grievances of Fulanis. It is we, the Biafrans. It is you, the Yorubas, that will have that right to claim grievances against Nigeria. It is you that should have that right to tag yourself that what you are doing now, that the letter you are writing to presidency now is about some grievances. And what could be grievances be? Because Nigeria has been hijacked by Fulani terrorists. And you have grievances because Nigeria economy is not working. Your grievances could be that Nigeria has been taken back to 1914. Your grievances could be that Nigeria is being run over by different terrorist groups. Today you have 5 different terrorist groups in Nigeria. So what are you writing about? About Fulani having grievances. Over what? They don't have any grievances. In your next letter, Your Excellency Obasanjo, don't write this. There is no grievances. The grievances are Biafrans have the grievances, Yorubas have the grievances, the Middle Belt has grievances where they have murdered and killed them in their hundreds and thousands. These are the people that have grievances. Fulani don't have grievances. Have you seen all this killing where you are buried, where you see mass burial of Fulani people? They don't have grievances. Now, and you continue, Obasanjo, if legitimate, if their grievance is legitimate, how can you be saying legitimate grievance? What kind of, it is we, the Biafrans, that have legitimate grievances, and that is why we are now opting out of Nigeria. And our grievances are legitimate. Our grievances and the Yoruba grievances are the only grievances that are legitimate in Nigeria and some part of Middle Belt. If they have grievances, They are the only legitimate grievances in Nigeria. Do you know why? Our grievances is legitimate today because the presidency is a terrorist. Our grievances are legitimate today because the chief of staff is a terrorist. Our grievances are legitimate today because the police IG is a terrorist. Our grievances are legitimate today because Attorney General of Nigeria is a terrorist. And what I'm telling you is that I have a proof for everything. Or do I even have to prove anything to you? Are you not seeing the proof? Are you not seeing the proof that the Attorney General has never filed any treasonable offense against any Fulani man? But Sowore is today facing trial. So, Attorney General of Nigeria is a terrorist. That is one of our grievances. Our grievances is that the CGN of Nigeria did not qualify to be CGN, and he is also driving the terrorist people. Our grievances is that all chief of staff are Muslims, except the one from Calabar and one from Yoruba land. Every other chief of staff, security chiefs, or whatever, they are all Muslims. From the north, where Boko Haram is killing people. So our grievances is legitimate. We also have grievances because today in Nigeria, there is no Igbo-speaking security chief among all the security chiefs in Nigeria today. All the security chiefs in Nigeria, no Igbo-speaking person. So, our grievances for fighting for Biafra is legitimate. You see that? Our grievances is legitimate. Yoruba grievances is legitimate because custom boss today is from the north. Our grievances is legitimate because the boss of the immigration is from the north. Our grievances is legitimate today because the boss of the DSS is from the north. Our grievances is legitimate today because the boss of the EFCC is from the north. Our grievances is legitimate today because the Minister of Petroleum is from the north. Our grievances is legitimate because every MDs today in the oil industry and the oil sector, they are all northern Muslims. You see why you cannot say Fulanis, whatever their grievances are, and if it is legitimate. You see? Well, our tribe, Biafrans, Oduduwas, part of middle belt of Nigeria, are the only people that have legitimate grievances against Nigeria state. And the only people that have the biggest grievances is we, the Biafrans. Even the latest loan they took, they sidelined Biafran, they sidelined the Igbo-speaking part of Biafra, and not even $1 was given to them. And we are in one Nigeria. So, our grievances are legitimate more than any other ethnic group in Nigeria. Let me continue. Your Excellency, Obasanjo, I hope they will send this video across to you. Even if you don't have the time to watch all of them, this particular part I am addressing your letter, you will watch it. In case of next time, you know how to present your letter because you should know better than me. You who have been fighting for one Nigeria from the time immemorial, and we that are just yesterday. We cannot tell you what Nigeria is. You should know better, and I am telling you this because I believe you have repented. If I am not believing that you have repented, I will not come here and waste my time. But next time, and what I'm telling you now, a lot of Nigerians are learning from it. So next time, you address your letter very well because Fulani don't have any grievances in Nigeria. There is no moral justification for whatever grievances because there is none. Now, that their grievances be addressed. And if other ethnic groups have grievances, you see your letter that if any other ethnic group have their grievances, let them also brought it out in the open and addressed through debate and dialogue. Debate and dialogue. Your Excellency Obasanjo, you are talking of debate and dialogue. Who are we going to debate with in Nigeria? Are you talking about the Nigeria that ordinary presidential election, the man you presented to us, you presented to Nigerians in 2015, you could not agitate for debate? You, Obasanjo. Obasanjo, you did not allow this man to come publicly and tell Nigerians how he is going to rule Nigeria in 2015. You were the one who stood gidigbam behind him. We call for debate, national debate. Let him come so that Nigeria can listen to him and assess him and see what he wants to do. Obasanjo, you were one of those who refused and tell Nigerians there is no debate. And I believe how close you were with Buhari then. You even personally advised him not to listen to anybody calling for debate. Today, in 2020, Obasanjo, because you have repented, you are calling that we should bring our grievances for debate. Who are we going to debate with? Are we going to debate with Malami? Is it Malami who cannot speak straight and answer question and address what he understood to constitute treasonable offense? Is it Malami we are going to debate with? Are we going to debate with the CGN who is driving aeroplane with his technicality? Is it the same CGN that we are going to debate with, who now brought somebody who was in fourth position to become the winner of governor election in Imo State? Obasanjo, who are we going to debate with? Are we going to debate with Abba Kaere, who spent his life in Switzerland claiming to go to school there? Is he behaving like somebody who studied abroad? Who are we going to debate with? Are we going to debate with Maete Allah, who comes and give order to the presidency? Who are we going to debate our grievances with in Nigeria as it is today? Is it who? Who are we going to debate? Because this is, you are a statesman who knows Nigeria in and out, and you participated in this problem. You are the janitor of this problem today. Who are we going to debate with? There is nothing. Why I'm addressing these things that you put in your letter is for you to know that the time for this kind of letter has expired. The time has gone. What we are looking at now is nothing other than Nigeria breaking up. And we will break it up. And I'm coming to where you mentioned something very important in your letter, to tell you that this shouting I'm shouting on Facebook today is making a lot of impact internationally. This shouting that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the IPOB, the leader of the biggest and most well-to-do and most respected leader of Biafra freedom alive today, has been shouted, is making impact internationally. And if we were not shouting for this disintegration and Biafra freedom, which we are going to get, it is either Biafra or Biafra. You will not end this or conclude this your letter the way you concluded it. And I'm coming to address that your conclusion. So, Obasanjo, let me continue. The main issue, if I may dare say, is poor management or mismanagement of diversity, which on the other hand is one of our greatest and most important assets. Obasanjo, this is very wrong. You don't have anything to gain with diversity. You say that the diversity here is the greatest and most important asset in Nigeria. Diversity is not asset. Diversity is not very important. Diversity has destroyed Nigeria. Diversity have destroyed Nigeria. And you cannot continue to address the diversity of Nigeria as very important and as an asset. That is very wrong of you. The diversity in Nigeria is the reason yesterday, 10th of March 2020, 17 women, boys, girls, children were chopped off their head in Ebonyi State, in Ohauku local government area of Ebonyi State to be precise, by Fulani herdsmen. That is diversity. Diversity is what you wrote. The insecurity and the menace of herdsmen, what you said herdsmen and farmers crisis. There is nothing like that, like I have addressed that issue. But that is diversity. Diversity is that your presidency, you are writing this letter to, has never one day condemned the so-called Fulani herdsmen crisis. Because the diversity is working. You are not supposed to live under them. You are not supposed to be a free human being under them. Because that is diversity. Diversity is the reason why the presidency of today, controlled by Fulani, dishing out decision by Abba Kare and Boko Haram members in the military, is the part of the diversity. Diversity is the reason why you are writing this letter. Because they don't respect you so long as you are not a Fulani man. As a former head of state who have fought war to keep Nigeria one, after that, you became military head of state. After that, you came again to become the first president of Nigeria during the democracy in 1999. When democracy returned to Nigeria, you become the first head of state, the first democratic elected president. And today, they don't trust you. They don't respect you because you are not Fulani. And that is the result of diversity. You see how diversity have destroyed Nigeria. And you don't have any great asset in diversity. Are you going to call that asset? Are you going to call that today all the sectors of the economy is controlled by Hausa Fulanis from the north and Muslims? And you know the reason? It is part of diversity. Because they don't trust Osibanjo. They don't trust you. They don't trust anybody. It is diversity. Do you also know that Osibanjo today is not being respected as the vice president of Nigeria because he is a Yoruba man? And that is the diversity of Nigeria. You see now that the diversity is not working. Do you understand that the border, the semi-border, which is located in the southern part of Nigeria, has been closed? Since last year, they are telling you they are going to open it in January. Are we not in March? And do you know the reason they closed the border? They closed the border so that Yoruba people will not bring arms to defend themselves. And that kind of reasoning, meanwhile, the northern border is open for all the jihadists in northern Africa to come into Nigeria from Chad. That is what we call diversity. It has destroyed Nigeria. And that is why dividing Nigeria now is the only solution to end to end this menarche that you wrote in your letter, to end this the result of this diversity that you wrote, to end the terrorism, to end the ethnic cleansing, to end the what you called herdsmen and farmers. It is only disintegration of Nigeria, dividing Nigeria, that will end. And by then, you have reduced the diversity that is now killing Nigerians. When you divide Nigeria, the diversity has been divided. You see, the interest that this diversity is doing now will be divided, and it will not be effective again. So, Biafra, we have their country, Oduduwa, we have their country, and you don't have much diversity. Diversity is never a strength in Africa continent. And it is time you understand that. You are a PhD holder. You have been studying and reading. It is time to go more deep to know whether the diversity of Nigeria has actually worked the way you put it here, that it is a great, important, and asset. It is not asset. It is not asset. It is only danger. It is only terrorism that it brings. It is only killing that the diversity in Nigeria bring, because the terrorists and Fulani herdsmen have no other agenda other than taking what belongs to you and making you their slave. That is the diversity. Now let me continue. Let me continue. You also said, as a result, every onerous cloud is gathering, and rain of destruction, violence, disaster, and disunity can only be outcome. That is fact. You have just addressed the whole issue here, because as a result of what you have just said, as a result of the diversity you have just said, destruction, violence, disaster, disunity can only be the outcome. One moment. I'll be back. So, sorry for that break. Now, the reign of destruction is going to be the outcome. It is already happening. The reign of destruction is already happening, and that is what is going to happen. Nothing should be taken for granted. The clock is ticking. Obasanjo, you wrote this with your hand. That the clock is ticking with cacophony of disaffection and dissatisfaction everywhere in and outside the country. Everywhere in and outside the country. In the country is the people in Nigeria. Outside the country is we, who are now exposing these atrocities to the entire world to see and come to rescue Nigeria. By the time we will start our hostility to defend ourselves, the entire world will know that this is not 1960. The Biafra War of 1960 was ignorantly fought. Ignorantly fought in the sense that a lot of people did not know, a lot of people were not carried along. What we are doing now to make sure people understood what is going on in Nigeria and why they must support Nigeria disintegration and freedom of Biafra were not done. A lot of this thing we are doing now to inform and put international community on notice, we are not done. And by the time Nigeria refused to give Biafra freedom, when we start, the video we are making, this shout we are shouting, will be used after Biafra have gotten their freedom, in case of any ICC probe, in case of any International Criminal Court probe, it will be used to make sure that we notify the world, we put the world on notice, and if nobody listens, they will not also come after Biafra must have been actualized. We will grant Nigeria if Biafra is not actualized at the end of the day. And 1960 is not 2020. This is what the presidency don't know. This is what the North don't know. When we are saying this, a lot of you will say, you are putting Igbo people in danger. You are putting Biafra people in danger. We need action. We need action. Anybody who needs the action can start the action. We have our own plan and strategy. And nobody can push us to go out of the way and get us destabilized or throw us off balance, because 11 people were killed in Ebonyi State yesterday, and everybody, is it only 17 people? I am telling you, if you calculate people that are being killed in Nigeria every day, 17 is just a child's play. And this killing is going on every day in Nigeria. But like we have always said, the time not only coming, but it has come. And this shouting we are shouting now, you people don't know how far this shouting will go. You think the shouting is going to be used today? You think the shouting is going to be used in 2020? This shouting is going to be used in 5 years' time. In 5 years' time, these videos we are releasing and putting the entire world on notice about the killings of our people in Biafra land will be used in 5 years' time. And that will be even after Biafra must have been actualized. So the main importance and reason for making these videos, you will see it only after Biafra have been actualized. If it is not in peace. If Biafra will not be actualized in peace or restored in peace, we will restore Biafra in pieces. Let me continue. Now, the presidency and the Congress in the US, this is Obasanjo letter. The presidency and the Congress in the US have signaled to us, they have signaled to Obasanjo, the ex-president of Nigeria, former president and leader and statesman, they have signaled them to put our country in order. Are you hearing that? The world leaders have signaled Obasanjo and his group to put their country in order. So this letter you see he's writing, this shouting you see he's shouting, is not just coming only from him. The pressure is now on him from international community. Listen, the House of Lords has also cautioned them, Obasanjo them, to put their house in order. It is not only the US Congress. Obasanjo has been cautioned, Obasanjo has been contacted, Obasanjo has been receiving pressure from international community to put their house in order. And one thing Obasanjo don't know, I could not read this to the end because of my time. One thing Obasanjo don't know is that Nigeria is irredeemable. It has come to the point that Obasanjo will answer to international community and tell them that now what is going on in Nigeria and what Nigeria has become is beyond me. It is time for foreign intervention. It is time we look for the solution to the killing of thousands of Nigeria every 3 months. It is time to end the ethnic cleansing, killing of Christians in Nigeria. It is time the international community come in, and Nigeria and Obasanjo should swallow his pride and start shouting and inviting international community intervention for only one solution. Only one solution. you can see that the terrorism is not something that international community will just come and start fighting. They have placed $7 million on Sheku. You think that, or is it Sheku or Shaku, whatever it's called? You think that if they kill Shaku, terrorism will end, it not? It will not end. If they kill Sheku, another Sheku will come. In fact, if they kill one Sheku, 10 Sheku will come. It is not about Sheku. It is not about killing Sheku. There are hundred of Sheku in Borno State. The only way to stop them, you don't need to kill Sheku to stop them. The only way to stop them is to give Biafra freedom. Give Oduduwa people freedom. Create another country in Middle Belt. And we will join our forces together and wipe entire terrorists in Northeast. That is the solution, because now the Nigerian military that are fighting the terrorists are compromised. And those compromising the security are from the same north. The chief of army staff today, Brutai, is number one, who is compromising the security. The fight against Boko Haram has become a biggest business to them. And you know what? When we get Biafra, when Oduduwa people get their republic, when Middle Belt get their own country, do you know what will happen? There will be no compromise in the security, because it is totally out of this northern caliphate. The Fulani will not have anything to do with our security apparatus. Biafrans will bring their army. It become a joint operation, a joint military operation against Islamic State and against Boko Haram, controlled by Sheku. We will wipe them within 1 month. Within 1 month, Sambisa forest will be raised. Is it not? Are we not? The point is that there is something I want to tell Nigerians today, because a lot of you don't know how these terrorists fight. In Iraq, the fight against terrorists were different, because the terrorists were living in city. They control city. And in those cities, you have people who are not terrorists. So they are using the people and the houses living normally, and they are using those people to shield themselves. And that was the reason when army want to attack the ISIS in Iraq, they will now tell the people to vacate the place. So they are fighting the war in the city. That is the difference in Iraq. And at the end of the day, the war ended. Now, what is different between Nigeria and Iraq? Nigeria's own is that Boko Haram is not in the city. Boko Haram is not in the city. Boko Haram is in the forest. What is stopping Nigerian military if the war is real? To take Air Force, to take the military aircraft, fighter jets, and start bombing Sambisa forest, since there is nobody living in Sambisa forest except them. You see? And so this war is something that Biafra soldier, Oduduwa soldier, the Middle Belt soldier will wipe these people in 1 month. When the Nigeria is disintegrated. Because now, Nigeria military as it is today cannot do what I'm telling you now. They have military aircraft. They can never go and start bombing Boko Haram in Sambisa forest. They will go there and tell you, and as I'm talking now, before you know it, after 3 days now, you will hear a news that Nigeria Air Force, the Nigeria fighter jet or something, have bombed Boko Haram hideout in Sambisa. You will hear it. The Fulani people don't have sense. They don't have brain. As I'm telling you now, after 3 days now of this video, you will see they want to prove that the military, the Air Force is working and fighting and in synergy with Nigeria. You will hear in 3 days' time. Go and mark this thing. In 3 days or 1 week time, you will hear that the Air Force has bombarded Boko Haram hideout in Sambisa forest. You will hear it. If they have bombarded Boko Haram, if they can bombard Boko Haram hideout, what is holding them to start bombing the whole Sambisa forest. And all these heavy gun trucks, including APC, that Boko Haram have. Are you not hearing the sound? Do you know the sound of the APC of the Boko Haram? The sound is a place like northeast Nigeria. You can hear the sound of the APC from few kilometers. You will hear the sound of the vehicle of the APC. The sound alone. And not in that place, that place is too quiet that you can, because of the war going on there. So if ordinarily you can hear the noise from 5 kilometers, then in that place you can hear the noise from 8 to 9 kilometers when the APC is coming. And every time, for you to see how heavy the APC is, Nigeria military don't know when Boko Haram is coming and when they are going. There is no coordination. That this Boko Haram is attacking. Where is the aircraft? Where is the Air Force? Bring your aircraft and start bombarding them. You cannot see that. Every time, and what I'm telling you now is the fact. So the war on Boko Haram can never end. And the only thing they want to do is that by the time they use this propaganda to capture the entire north, they have already captured the north. So they are focusing in southern part of Nigeria. You remember when the military have the security meeting last year? They said they are pulling their soldiers from the northeast, where they are fighting Boko Haram, that they are now focusing in the southern part of Nigeria. That they are focusing in the south. What are you focusing in the south? When Boko Haram are ambushing soldiers every day. So which means they have already captured the north. What they are doing now is to channel their terrorist attack to the southern part of Nigeria to destabilize the south and start grabbing the land. That is the next thing in the agenda. So by the time we divide Nigeria, you will see not only in Sambisa forest, but I will tell you the military power that will come out from Biafra, the military power that will come out from Oduduwa, the military power that will come out from the Middle Belt will be used to finish Boko Haram in 1 month. In 1 month. I am not saying 2 years. I am not saying 6 months. I said 1 month. 1 month Boko Haram will run out of Sambisa forest. And nothing is stopping the Nigerian military to do what I'm saying now. But you know what is stopping them? What is stopping them is because the commander, the Burutai, security chiefs, and other generals in Nigeria army have sworn an oath of allegiance to the Islamic State of West Africa. And that is why they cannot do what I'm saying now. Because if Boko Haram is fighting in the city of Borno State, and they are hiding in the town of Borno State, you will say, oh, you don't want to kill civilians. You don't want to kill innocent people by bombing their hideout. You will say, oh, the place where Boko Haram have their stronghold, they have a lot of people there, and you cannot tell them to vacate the place because you are coming to bomb Boko Haram members. It will be understandable, and that is the case of Iraq. That is the case of the Iraq war. But now, you don't have them in your cities. You have them in Sambisa forest. And every time they come from Sambisa forest and attack the city, attack your soldiers, kill them, ambush them. After that, they take your gun truck, take your weapons, go back to their hideout in Sambisa forest. And you tell me you are fighting war, you are fighting Boko Haram, you are winning the war, you are deceiving yourself. Like Abaribe, my good brother, used to say, those who live by propaganda shall die by propaganda. All of you, by the time the Biafra come, all of you will face the music. We will stop at nothing until you all face justice for what you have done and subjected Biafran soldiers and Oduduwa soldiers to. Because you clearly sacrificed them to be able to actualize yours. And you people don't know that people like us, people like Nnamdi Kanu, People like other people agitating for Biafra, BZM, Mossop, all of them. You people don't know that we are coming, and this time around it is not just about telling Nigerians. We are telling international community and putting them on notice. So our agitation is not just to tell Nigerians, oh, Nigeria is you have to come now and support disintegration. No, it is not just Nigeria. We are bringing you people out to naked you before international community, and you are now naked. The foundation of Nigeria has been destroyed. We have destroyed it, and we are now going to the next phase. After the march, the 1 million march in June 2020, we will see the fate of Nigeria. How many of you will be shouting One Nigeria from there? From email after the 20th of June this year, we will see how many of you will be shouting One Nigeria. You people think that it is 1960. We are now in a global village. In a global village. The world is a global village. This is not 1960. Everything that happens in Nigeria, including the video of the killings in Ebonyi State, I'm going to make it available to the public. I will work on the video, make it available. Let the world see how people are being killed in Nigeria, chop off their head, and all the governor of Ebonyi State, Umahi, could do is to go and start arresting people who are trying to put security in their villages, and who are village leaders and youth leaders. He go and start using soldiers to intimidate and arrest them. And he is not arresting the people who chop off head. He is not looking for people who came from Benue State, Fulanis, who came from the neighboring Benue State to chop off head in Ohauku local government of Ebonyi State. Governor Umahi is not interested in ordering the soldiers to look for the people who were chopping off the heads of women and children. And I'm going to post that video. Let the entire world see what we are talking about. He goes and starts arresting people in Ngbo community that they are looking for soldier. As I said it yesterday. You are not looking for the people who are chopping the head off of the people of your state. You are not looking for people who came and invade community, burn the community, kill your children, and chop off their head. In 2020, and you are busy arresting people, innocent people, that they should provide a ghost soldier. The days of reckoning is coming. The days is coming. At least nobody will see what has happened to us, Biafrans, and will fault whatever actions we are going to take in times to come. Nobody. What happened in Rwanda is even a child play. In Rwanda, they did not chop off heads. In Rwanda, they didn't kill and chop off heads. In Rwanda, they shoot. Of course, they butcher people and all that. They use gun. They use machete, but they did not chop off heads in Rwanda. But in Nigeria today, you allow Marandus and nomadic Fulanis to enter our land and kill our women and kill our children and cut off their head. And by the time the spirit will start to walk in us, the time the spirit will start to walk in us, we will do something that will shock the entire world. If you see the video and the picture of innocent women that Umahi allowed for their head to be chopped off, you will shed tears like me. But the days is fast coming. The entire world will be shocked the day we will begin to revenge and hold you, the leaders in Nigeria and the Biafra land, responsible for the killings of the women and the innocent children. The days is coming. Don't think that you are free. Don't think that you are free. Don't think that you are safe. These things that you are inviting upon your people, this thing that you are inviting upon your land, when it will come, you will go down. You will be the first to go down. This thing you are inviting, after seeing the video, they could not just kill these people, but after killing them, they chop off their head. And all you could do as a governor and a chief security officer of a state is to take your soldiers from Nkwago to go and start intimidating people in Ohauku local government of Ebonyi state. You all have children. You all have families. You come to public functions. You drive around in Nigeria. The day you have pushed us to the wall, when this rain will start to fall, nobody will be spared. If you do not protect the people of your state and allow any kind of this killing to happen again in Ebonyi state, like I said, the day of reckoning is coming. If they kill these people and don't chop off their head, the gruesome murder of these people, you see those pictures, Governor Omahi, you see the videos of innocent women, Governor Omahi, and what you could do is to take soldiers from Nkwago to start to intimidate and arrest the villagers that they have invaded, and the villagers that they have killed, and killed about 17 human beings. And you are looking for presidency in 2013. You see, the point is that Una Marie Nabia. Thank you this evening for watching me. I'm sorry for this emotion, but the videos and the pictures I saw from Ebonyi State broke my heart, broke me down. I have never seen anything like that. It broke me down. See you tomorrow and have a good night.